All right, let's talk day trading. Today, we're going to cut right through all the noise with a strategy that is, well, radically simple. It's called the first candle strategy, and it's designed to solve one of the biggest problems that almost every trader runs into.
So, does your trading chart ever look like, well, like a spider web? A complete mess of lines, indicators, and colors? If you've ever just stared at your screen, totally frozen, unable to make a move because there's just too much information, then you, my friend, have experienced analysis paralysis. It's a huge, huge roadblock for so many traders.
And look, this is basically the before and after picture. On the left, you've got total confusion, right? A dozen indicators all telling you different things, which just leads to hesitation. But on the right, you have clarity. The focus is just on price, with clean, simple levels that tell you exactly what to do. The whole point of this strategy is to get you from that messy chart on the left to that clean chart on the right.
So let's put a name on this beast, the analysis paralysis problem. This is that mental gridlock you get from trying to process way too much data all at once, right at the moment when you need to be the most clear-headed.
You know, a big reason so many traders struggle is because they just make things way too complicated. They load up their charts with every indicator under the sun, they second-guess the most obvious trades, and even when they have the right idea, they just can't bring themselves to pull the trigger.
So what's the solution? How do we fix all this complexity? Well, it's what our source material calls the first candle solution, a really elegant and straightforward way to approach the market open.
The whole idea behind this entire system can be summed up in this one quote: simplicity equals profitability. The thinking here is that by stripping away all the unnecessary stuff, you can actually see the market more clearly, and that clarity can lead to better results.
So how does it work? It's pretty amazing, actually. The entire strategy is built around a single candle, the very first 5-minute candle of the trading day, which forms at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. That's it. Just one candle. It's so powerful because it captures that initial explosion of emotion and orders for the day, and it really sets the tone for everything that comes next.
Okay, so let's get practical. How do you actually use this thing? Well, it all breaks down into a simple mechanical 3-step system that really anyone can follow. Here it is, the entire game plan. Step 1, you mark the range of that first candle. Step 2, you patiently wait for the price to break out of that range. And step 3, and this is probably the most important part, you confirm the retest. Let's dig into each of these. Step 1 is as easy as it gets. Right at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, you just let that first 5-minute candle do its thing. Once it's closed, you draw a line at its absolute high and another line at its absolute low. Boom! Those 2 lines, that's your entire roadmap for the day. No other levels needed. Okay, for step 2, you're going to zoom in a little, switch over to a 1-minute chart so you can see the action up close. And now comes the hardest part of trading for a lot of people. You wait. You're not trying to guess which way it's going to go, you're just waiting for a 1-minute candle to close decisively above your high line or below your low line. And I mean a full candle close is non-negotiable. Don't jump the gun on this one. And now for the step that really makes this whole thing work, confirming the retest. So after the price breaks out, you wait for it to come back and touch that level again. Now listen up, because this is a classic mistake. You do not enter the second it touches the line. No, you wait for the price action to show you that the level is holding. Maybe you see a candle with a long wick at the bottom showing buyers are stepping in hard. That kind of confirmation is your green light. All right, so once you get the hang of that basic 3-step system, there's a way to level it up. We can add what our source calls a high probability filter to make the trade setups even stronger. This filter uses something called a price gap. You might also hear it called a fair value gap. The easiest way to think about it is like a little vacuum in the chart. It's an area where the price moved so fast in one direction that it left an imbalance. And these gaps, they tend to act like magnets, pulling the price back to revisit them later. So here's where it gets really powerful. Imagine this. You get the breakout, and then the price comes back to retest your first candle level. But that level also happens to be right inside one of those price gaps. Well, that's what traders call confluence. It's like getting a double confirmation from the market, and it can create an incredibly high probability trade.
Okay, so the theory sounds great, right? But the real question is, does this thing actually work? Let's take a look at the strategy in action with some backtesting results from the source material.
So here we have an 8-day backtest, trading the same thing every single day using only this system. And you can see it's a pretty impressive string of wins. A lot of these even use that price gap filter for a really solid entry. But I want you to pay close attention to day 6. There's a loss. This is so important because it reminds us that no system is foolproof, and that's exactly why managing your risk is always, always number one.
This chart just gives us a quick, clean visual of that performance. Over that 8-day stretch, the strategy cranked out 7 winning trades and just 1 single loser. It paints a very clear picture of how it performed during this particular test.
And if you boil all that down to one number, here it is, an 87% win rate during this backtest. Now, of course, we have to remember that past results don't guarantee future performance, but wow, it absolutely shows the potential of having a simple, repeatable system.
So let's bring this all home and come back to the core idea that's guided this whole explainer. Simplicity equals profitability.
So, what are the big things to remember here? First, a simple, mechanical system like this can be your ticket out of analysis paralysis. Second, you can define your entire trading plan by focusing on just one candle. Third, and this is a big one, patience and waiting for confirmation is way more important than trying to be fast. And finally, having a repeatable system is the absolute foundation for building consistency over the long run. And that kind of leaves us with one final question to think about. Whether you've been trading for 10 years or 10 days, just ask yourself this. Could focusing on just one single candle be the key to simplifying your trading? It's definitely something to chew on. Thanks for tuning into this explainer.